And I got to tell you, to kick off tonight with her just kind of introducing this, of course, she owns Proverbs Media Group. She started that podcast, the radio show, It's Not About Us, with Elaine Beck. She's interviewed just about everybody, any famous person around here. To have heroes of mine from the movement, like Matt Schlapp and Ben Carson and Dr. Brent Armstrong. But to start off with Elaine Beck is truly special. Y'all welcome our host for the evening, Ms. Elaine Beck.
Well, welcome everyone. I can't tell you what a blessing this is to me. I mean, because of the floodlights, I can't really see your faces, but I know every one of you. I know every one of you, even if I just met you tonight, because you all love God like I do. You all know that you're God's child and you're here to serve Him, and that's all that matters. And I'm going to share a little story with you that, you know, it's not easy sometimes to share some of our personal life, but I think it'll tell you why I am who I am. I was in my first marriage, lasted 17 and a half years, and I was married to a very abusive man. And I came from an abusive home. I had a wonderful mother, but she had difficulties in her life. And for a lot of years when she was younger, she had a hard time dealing with life herself. And so, you know, as years went by, we made up, and I loved her till the day she died. I always will. I'm grateful that God gave me that mother. And I'm grateful that He gave me the trials that He gave me. But in the end, when He turned on one of my children, that was the end. And so I walked away, and it was very difficult. But it was a blessing to me when the church that I went to literally brought me baskets of food for me and my children, when the year before, when I had no idea that I would ever have a need for it, I was the one that started a country kitchen at our church, because we had people. I lived in Ohio. The steel mills in Youngstown were closing. The rubber factories in Akron were closing. And people that had had much all of a sudden had nothing. And so I started that kitchen not knowing that I would be the receiver someday. And so that's why when I find a cause and I know that there's a need, I know that all I have to do is step back and remember the days when it was me. And I'm telling you right now, if it hadn't been for God blessing me 13 years ago with finding Bob Beck in my life and giving me a wonderful husband, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So He always touches our heart. He always saves us. But we have an opportunity as the blessed ones that are here to now help others. Even when we don't know that someday, the way this country is right now, it could be any one of us, or a neighbor, or a friend, or a church member. And so, just to give you a little background, last spring, my nephew, Joe Atkinson, he's here tonight, gave me a call, and he told me that he knew of a woman who was being put out. She had actually moved in with a family member, or a friend, I should say. And she'd been living with them for 3 months, but they couldn't keep taking care of her, which I understand. You know, some people are struggling themselves, but they have a heart. They can't do it themselves. And so I got off that phone call, and all I could remember was thinking, well, where can I put her? Because that's how God speaks to us sometimes. He just says, so what are you going to do about it? And so I called up Lynn Dent. She's here too. She's my realtor. And I said, Lynn, I need to find a condo. I may need to find several, because now I'm being told there's other people like this. And I realized that that could be me. If this was the me of 13 years ago before I met Bob Beck, it would be me. So I want you all to know that there are people in your life that need what you're going to do tonight or in the future with what we're doing. And what we're doing is we have bought, currently we're up to 13 units. 8 of which are brand new, as in newly bought by us, but they need a lot of work. And so our goal is to right now get enough of them ready quickly. That's why we bought some that are already there and maybe not in good shape, but we can turn it around. And obviously that's going to take money too. I'm more than happy to do everything that I can, but I'm asking my friends, my neighbors, and my fellow Christians and God's children to step up and help the people less fortunate than us. Because some of these people, they worked all their life. They built this country the same as you did. And are still, many of you still are. And we're building this country, and they did that. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be established the way that it is today. And so I'm asking you to open your hearts and do what you can. I want you to know that the other project that we're doing is on that same property where we just bought 8 of those units. We're building a little community house, an office, and things so that we can do Bible studies with them. They're going to be checked out before they move in because we have to be careful. We have to make sure our loved ones are loved correctly and treated well and are safe. And so we're going to do all the right things. I've got a wonderful law firm, and they've helped us put together all the appropriate things that we can do, and we're going to do that. And I'm just so blessed that I know all these wonderful people. And when I called them and said, can you be on the board? Can you help out? Can you do this? Can you do that? And you know what? I never got a no. Never. And so I'm just, here to tell you that everything touches us at some point. Every kind of heartache and hurt. And it could be one of us someday. So God bless you and thank you for coming. Oh, I forgot something really important. God says take care of the children and the widows. But to me, that's young people and elderly. So I just talked to you about the elderly. So these are going to be people on fixed incomes. And we've made a promise. They will never pay more than 50% of their fixed income to live on our property. Because could you live on $900 a month and pay rent and buy food and clothes and pay for prescriptions? They can't either. And some of them are on incomes as low as $900. Some of them are lucky to make maybe $12 or $14. So we set a cap at $750. So nobody will ever pay more than $750. And there's just so much to this that I can't explain it all to you tonight, but I want you to look it up. We're going to put everything online. We want you to follow what we're doing, because when we set our mind to something, if you went to the studio, when we set our mind to something, we do it. And we do it with passion because it's God's passion. And I want you to know that our second thing that we're doing is we're also building a home for unwed mothers. And, with Roe versus Wade finally being overturned after all those years, and that is a big praise. Okay. And now we have to take care of the innocents, because we'll always be sinners, and our young people need us, and we need to take care of them. So these are the things that we currently don't have in Tucson. We have wonderful organizations that help young mothers, but there's no place for them to stay during that process if they don't have a home to go to, or if the parents won't help them. So thank you again for coming. I'm so humbled to have this opportunity, and I can't thank you enough. So God bless you all. Enjoy your evening, and I see everybody enjoying each other. And as like-minded Christians, that's real easy, isn't it? So have fun, and we've got plenty of speakers, and then we're going to have a lovely dinner, and there's a silent auction out on the patio. So we'd like you all to go bid on that. And you've all been watching Vanessa's beautiful painting. And those will be auctioned off at a live auction at the end of the evening before dessert. So God bless you all.